Sorry, neighbors. The executioner. This is just... That smile.
That's how you know when you built the car of your dreams, you know?
This is no joke. This is crazy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I don't even know where to begin. Like, you got a parachute on this thing.
It just got installed now. The last time I raced it, I was able to run a 980 on the quarter mile at over 140 miles an hour. So
140 in this thing.
At the finish line, 11:08
Wait, and then you didn't have a parachute?
I didn't have a parachute. I didn't have a full roll cage. I only had front brakes. Look at my front tire.
Wait a minute.
So now we've upgraded everything. You know, we never thought
135?
135 or
It's like a bicycle tire.
Yeah, yeah. So since then we upgraded to the T3 Willwood front brakes and installed some rear brakes, make it a little safer.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We never thought we were able to go that fast in our whole entire lifetime. So
then when you're at the drag strip,
yes.
I'm assuming that you run a different wheel and tire setup.
Yes,
then.
I have my slick 13-inch by 9-inch, 24-inch slick.
This being the Big Island and the fact that you guys actually have a quarter-mile drag strip, drag racing is pretty much the most popular thing here.
This is probably the island, well, especially for these cars, this is probably the island that represents the most, that keeps the old school Toyotas alive, you know. Back in the day, Oahu was probably the place to be, you know, when Hawaii Raceway Park was going, but since then that has closed down for some 10, 15 years now.
Yeah.
And Hilo seems to be the hotspot for the Toyotas now.
It's pretty sad to me, honestly, especially because Oahu, that island has 5 times the population of Big Island, but they just don't have the space.
Right. They have a lot of cars like this.
Yeah.
You know, but no place to race. You know?
Do they ever ship their cars over to race?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people that ship their cars from Oahu either to Kauai, Maui, or here, because that's the only 3 islands it has. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
What did this start life as? Was this your street car?
So this was actually a car that I traded from a good friend in Kona. I traded him for a Starlet, an 81 Starlet. And when I got it, it was just a shell. There was no dashboard, there was no windows, there was no seats, there was no engine, no tires, no rims.
What year is this?
This is a 72 Corolla. It's kind of mixed match and pieced together. It's not really one of those, you know, JDM, fully restored to original kind of a thing. This is like a 72 with like a 73, 74 front end, and it retains its 71, 72 back end. When you see the tail lights, you'd think it's a 71 or 72. Then when you come in the front, you think it's a 74. So it always keeps people guessing, yeah?
Did you grow up around these? Is that why you wanted one of these?
Yeah,
or?
so it's like, it was a family thing. My older brother that passed away, he was into Datsun 510s. And then my other brother that pretty much taught me everything about these cars, you know, he's been in it since he was in high school. And I slowly, you know, started to show interest and follow, and this is where we are today, you know.
Was your intention to build just an all-out drag car?
Never was the intention. It never was the intention to even put a turbocharger in here, you know. I was a hardcore nitrous guy. So I would run around with the 45 Webers, you know, and use the nitrous at the racetrack. And the fastest that I got it to go with the nitrous was 11.0 at 119. I was really trying to run a 10, but it wasn't happening. So Brendan at PSI, my good buddy at PSI Racing, he convinced me to go turbo. He told me, man, if I go turbo, I'll skip the 10s and I'll go to the 9s. And he was right.
Can we take a look at the engine? Because
of course.
This is just I don't really know what to call it. It's like a work of art, but it's also functional.
Yes.
Um,
That was the whole point of this, you know, to keep it like as beautiful as original as it could be, you know, because there's a lot of these engines around. There's a lot of the plain polished or the painted stuff, you know. So I actually have a really good friend. His name is Shane Vincent here in Hilo. He actually told me one day he had bought an engraver and he wanted to try and practice on my stuff. And I was kind of, you know, to be honest, I was a little iffy because I didn't know what this would turn out to be because it was a perfectly polished valve cover. And when I got it back, wow, I was really impressed with what he did. So this is basically his first two pieces that he's ever done.
there's just something about Hawaiian style.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, the way you guys do things. I mean, like, look at that.
Oh
Tacoma.
man, look at that. That's one of a kind.
It's so cool.
That's one of a kind, man.
It's unlike anything else, but this too. This is so crazy. So, how much of the original motor is left? I mean, it says built, not bought. I know this is it a stock block or what?
So
what
this
are we looking
actually
at?
is a 3TC. This motor, the original motor, actually came out of a car that you're gonna video a little later.
Oh,
That's out of that black no budget car.
got
So
it.
I got that out of that car while they were planning on doing the Jay-Z swap. We had this line honed and set for billet main caps. It has everything, all internals from PSI Racing, Trom pistons, 7-to-1, Eagle H-beam connecting rods, factory crank.
And then, so how many liters is it?
This right here is 1776, so it's a 1.8.
1.8.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's bored out to 86.5 millimeter, that's 60 over of factory, but it also drops a lot of compression from factory, so from 8.5 to 7-to-1. Then that's for the turbocharge, yeah. Turbo is a precision turbo, 6266 Gen 2 ball bearing. And it's paired with a custom one-of-one PSI Racing exhaust manifold.
Where is PSI located?
PSI is in Bradenton, Florida. And he has ran 690s with the 3S GTE, kind of the same engine that is in Ryan Turk's Stout. Yeah, so he built that engine in that Stout. So that, you know that's gonna be a wicked drifting, man. Oh man, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, have you had a chance to dyno this?
Yes, I did. So when I first got everything together, and for me, I cannot rely on anybody to try and, go and tune it for me because I'm the kind of person that I want to be in there. I want to be able to know what's going on, So it took me a while. It took me about a year of street tuning and looking at all kind of videos online to try and gain this knowledge to tune. And when I finally had the courage to go to the dyno, we did really good on the first time. We did 458 at 31 pounds in third gear, which is pretty decent for these engines, When I ran the 980, I had it at 35 pounds of boost. So I feel probably the max should be around 40 pounds of boost, and I think we could get it about 550, maybe close to 600.
Well, that's crazy, especially because how much power did this make originally from the factory?
Oh man, I want to say 90 horsepower they come out with out of the factory.
So you potentially could be making 6 to 7 more times,
yes.
or more,
Yes.
because that's wheel. You're talking about wheel horsepower.
Yes. And when
90 is
when
crank.
you feel it in the car, it feels like 100 times more than a factory
Yeah,
engine.
because have you had a chance to weigh this?
No, I haven't. Well, you know what? Take that back. I have in the past. It was 2100 with me inside. That was pre-roll cage and pre-turbo. That's when I had carburetors and nitrous. So I want to say 1940 without me inside and just with the engine. Right around
That's
there.
very light.
Yeah, very light.
And the crazy thing is, it's still pretty much intact. Full interior, roll cage, carpet.
Not original, but just pieced together just enough to make it look good enough,
So what is this?
So that's my EGT sensors. I didn't have a place to put it, so I just put it there for now. What that does is it reads my exhaust gas temperature after every run. It's kind of my old setup that I used to run with my nitrous. I actually could buy a Haltech that would plug into my CAN bus, but for now I'm just using with what I have. So this is more like a manual EGT controller that I can kind of go back and play and see what's going on.
So this weekend you're actually going to
Yeah,
run
this weekend we're going to the track.
Do you think you're going to break your personal best?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think our personal best is 989 at 140. We're trying to go for at least a 970, you know. My buddy says we could probably go 950s, but 988 would be great.
So what's the restriction for this local track here? Is it run what you run or?
Yeah, it's basically run what you brung. It's an IHRA sanctioned track. It's really doesn't have the best prep, so it's almost as if I would want to say like it's almost like a no prep, you know. Maybe a little better than a no prep, but definitely not like a track like Orlando. When I went to Orlando, it was amazing, you know. Like the track prep was so great.
So then, is this going to be the first time you're running with a parachute?
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna be kind of scared to pull it.
It's going to be such a funny feeling for
Oh
you,
yes, I bet. I have the jitters just thinking about it. Like I'm literally just a tad nervous for the first time in my life.
So do you still drive this on the street?
I do very rarely. It is fully street legal. You know, mostly take it to meets or, you know, maybe once in a great while on the weekend, take a beach cruise around or something, you know. But as far as every day, no, I don't, you know. But it is legal. It could drive every day. Would I want to do it? No, not at all.
And then what have you done for the transmission?
Transmission is a factory Celica transmission from the 70s. It's a W50 cast iron. When you look online, a lot of people say that this trans cannot handle past about 275, 280-ish horsepower. So imagine now we're like probably approaching double that.
I can't believe you're running those times and it's manual.
I know, it doesn't last long, you know. So far I ran 4 9-second runs and a couple of 10-second runs with this transmission. So I did about 5 or 6 passes, and let's hope that it holds a little more.
What's next? Like, what's something
So
that you can...
what we do here is every time we see a junk truck or a junk Celica or anything that we can get our hands on, $100, $200 trans, we just keep buying them, you know? So we have a bunch at home. Of course, ideally, you don't want to break them, right? You don't want to have to keep changing them. But that's, you know, for now, I guess that's what we're going to be doing. In the future, you know, possibly upgrading to a G-Force 5-speed. But once you do that, there goes your street car, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
as far as racing, I hardly race the car too, maybe once a year. So if I change a trans once a year, it's not too bad.
So then what about the rear end?
Rear end is a factory Hilux Toyota truck rear end from the 1970s, 1971 to 1974. What they are, they're bolt-on to this car. And the factory axles and gear set, they handle pretty well, you know. I'm almost wondering when is the breaking point of that also. You know?
You're getting to this point where you're on the limit for so many things on this vehicle.
Yes.
So then, is it locked? Or?
It's a welded rear end.
Okay.
So, you know, it's kind of like a cheat a little bit, you know. A cheapy cheaty.
Amazing. So did you guys build the cage on the
No,
island?
I actually had a buddy, Dean Simal's welding in Hilo. He just finished this up a couple months ago.
But on the island?
On the island,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Full chrome moly cage.
How many performance shops are here?
Not necessarily any performance shops. You know, like one that you would see in the US, you know, like not really any here. There's like small repair shops that do dyno work. There are small garages that build cars like how we have in my brother's house, or like how they built this truck, you know.
And because the community is pretty small, I'm assuming that everybody kind of helps each other.
Everybody helps each other. That's the best part about being here, you know. Of course, there are times where there's a little tension with other people, you know, but for the most part, Hawaii is just aloha, you know. Everybody helps everybody, you know.
Yeah. No, it's cool to me because car culture finds a way. You know, we're out here with our friends from Toyota, and I've been showing them kind of the things I've been shooting. And they're just so blown away because they're like, wait a minute, there's a racetrack here? Wait a minute, people modify their Toyotas here? You know, and yeah, that's what is cool, you know? It's just, no matter where I travel in the world, I just love seeing the local car culture. And I like to see what they like, you know? And this is just so inspiring to me that this exists.
Thank you.
I love it.
Hawaii is definitely the land of Toyotas, you know, whether it be trucks or old schools or,
oh, yeah.
You know, Hawaii loves Toyotas. Yeah. Just like Joe Coy would say, yeah?
Cherry, bro. Cherry.
Why is this called the Executioner?
Executioner is actually a name that my brother had on his car in the 90s. And he took a break from racing for like about 10 years or so. And I couldn't help myself. I told him, bro, I need to use the name.
It's so cool that you have the plate, though.
Awesome, yeah.
I love this so much. So you actually had this painted?
No, so what happened was there was actually a blemish in the paint. There actually wasn't supposed to be a name on the car.
Oh.
So there was a little
okay.
blemish in the paint here. So I called up a guy that does this kind of artwork and whatever, and he suggested that, you know, he could do this at the shop on a vinyl sticker and see how I like it. So when he came to do the name, he's like, here's a sticker. How do you like it? I was like, it's good. He put it right over the blotch spot of the paint and then rolled the executioner right over.
It looks great.
Yeah,
I
right
think
on.
it looks cool. It just has that style. There's just something about this. I love that you have a plate and you have the parachute. This is so cool. Like this.
I want to try driving
Right
in on
here.
the road like this, you know? See if the
Yeah.
cops pull me over. Hawaii is a little lenient, so I think they might give me a break.
Honestly, this would be a cool drag week car, you know?
Yeah.
The way it sits right now. Right?
Usually there's a muffler, but I kind of set the car up to go drag racing already this weekend. So even now we're over here trying to switch this tube over so we could just run off the wastegate. And either that or I'll be running 35 pounds on pump gas right now. I usually run it on E85.
So what you think you can burn some rubber in this thing or what?
Oh, of course I can.
Sorry, neighbors. What a evil laugh. This is the executioner.
Yeah, definitely is.
So I can't really put my finger on it. It doesn't sound like any other inline four. It sounds so crazy.
It's that old 3TC power, man.
So
You see it? It's that 3TC power, man.
so cool.
You can find my buddy that has all of 3TC, 3SGTE, everything Toyota, psiracing.com. PSI Racing on Instagram and Facebook.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. It's still smoking. Look at that. Smoke's still pouring out.
You
of
think
this
you're
thing.
ready for the races, man?
I hope so, man. Good luck, man. I want you to get your personal best, you know?
People say I should put tape over here to cover my flares and my car.
It's so good.
No need tape.
It's so good.
That's what we build it for, right?
This is just I love this. I love this car so much. Start him off young, start him off right.
Yeah.
Was that cool or what? Was that cool? Yeah? Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to LarryChenPrints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.